Did you know that 500,000 people in the United States suffer a power outage almost every day? That's a big number, and if your company is depending on that connection, you're out of business. Well, nowadays, the equipment that we're using to keep our businesses up and running are very sensitive to the power that they're given. Servers, phone switches, routers, they all have very tight tolerances with the power that they can handle. Quality power isn't a luxury, it's a necessity for almost all businesses today.
When you call QPS with an emergency, you will get a human response. We have trained service personnel to respond to those emergencies.
During the initial phone conversation, when that call comes in, we try to understand what the current status is of the system. What happened? Did they add any equipment? Did they move any pieces of equipment? And once we can understand that and we know, then we can get a technician in contact with them and we can determine the level of the emergency call. Is it something where it is just a notification and the customer's loads are fine and protected? Or is it something where we need someone out there now, immediately?
These are the power modules. Now basically they take the power that comes in from the grid and puts it back out into the system when conditions are normal. But when the power goes off, it takes the power from its battery plant. Now in this unit, each one of these little canisters has a row of batteries in them. So it'll take the power from the batteries and put it back to the distribution of the building. And that looks just like a panel board like you've got in your basement. Circuit breakers that protect each circuit that you know needs to be protected, whether it be your data center, your alarm systems, or life safety equipment in the case of hospitals, emergency lighting, things like that. At QPS, we stock over 3,500 individual line items of parts in order to support existing and obsolete equipment out in the field. All of the parts are pre-tested, packaged in anti-static wrapping, and individually boxed to protect them. These parts can be then sent out into the field when necessary. We also supply parts for some clients that sit there on site, so at the time of a failure, they don't have to wait for that air freight to come in. Those parts are sitting there ready when they need them. It makes a big difference when minutes are measured in tens of thousands of dollars. For the client, sometimes used equipment not only represents the best value for money, but also the right solution, even on an environmental level. If a unit has been used by a customer and now decided that they're downsized and don't need one this big, or they're upsizing and need a bigger one, or they've closed the facility altogether, we'll bring those units in-house. We'll replace the components inside that we know are subject to failure. Fans, fuses, things called capacitors and IGBTs, and we can test those and we'll replace them. That'll give the UPS almost its original service life back. Then we'll test them under extreme worst-case scenario conditions using something called a load bank. Now, this makes the UPS work as if it's really under the real conditions. And then QPS will warranty that system to the end user. We assemble batteries here in the shop for a couple of reasons. These battery modules for replacement units out in the field, we test them here under conditions that we can monitor so that we know that the individual batteries work, they work together as a group. Then we have them completely tested so when they're deployed in the field, it's faster turnaround time for our techs, less downtime for the customer, and all around a better quality control. We take a very hard line on safety procedures. What you're looking at here is a small sample of the safety equipment that we outfit every one of our technicians with. Very small sample. On average, about $10,000 per technician in test equipment, safety equipment, training. We do it more than just to meet the compliance. It's a mindset that every company has to take in the electrical industry.
Well, for a successful UPS installation, we first start with our applications team and getting them involved, which includes your project manager, your engineers, your coordinators. The team gets involved, we define the right solution to the application. Being brand neutral, we can look at Mitsubishi products, we can look at Toshiba products, we can look at Gamatronics and so on to find the best solution to your particular data center. From there, it's about the execution, from the delivery and the logistics of getting that UPS and batteries on site to the startup of that unit installation, all the way through the removal of any old UPS system and recycling that unit as well. So with all those bits and pieces put together, we have a successful UPS installation that is all done through one solution, that's Quality Power Solutions.
Quality Power Solutions keeps your business in business by providing you with sales and support on new and pre-owned critical power equipment, by supplying only tested and warranted power quality gear from a variety of vendors, by making service available when and where it's needed, and backed up by over 3,500 parts in stock, by deploying highly trained and safety-conscious field engineers to service your critical power needs.
This is a brief look at how QPS behind the scenes keeps your business in business. For more information, please contact QPS at qpsolutions.net.